Hey, what happened to the music?
I don't know.
Ryan?
Listen, technical things happen all the time.
Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Doesn't it save? Can they hear us?
Well, I didn't.
Hey, everybody.
They can't hear us.
Can you all hear us okay, hopefully?
Somehow
We can
messed
hear
that
you.
music up. We'll have to figure that
It's
out.
okay. Yeah, hey, well, we're having technical difficulties, but welcome everybody to We Don't Give a Flip podcast, episode 3, Rachel Strickland. I am Bob. I am joined by my wife, Amanda. We are the Rocket City Resellers. Our co-hosts with the mostest, Gulf Coast pickers, Ryan and Christine, and of course, Sean and Mel from West Virginia Panhandle pickers. How's everybody's week going so far?
Going good, guys. How
Going
about
well.
everybody else?
Going
week.
well. Long week. Busy, long week.
Yep.
Anything
Mel,
new and
we-
exciting?
Mel
Where's
will be
Mel?
here in about 15 minutes. She had to pick our youngest up from work tonight.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
So, around the rim, how was everybody's week in reselling? Ryan and Christine, any call outs? Any
Had a
great
super,
sales?
probably our longest plush and toy raid train yesterday on Whatnot. It went from 11 to 11 at night. I'm not sure how long 60 stayed on for because I had to get sleep for work, but it was long. It was good.
This is the first time we've done it that long. We had a lot of sellers, and it was the first time that I ever started the train.
That was a little weird for me.
Yeah.
It sure was weird seeing you guys out of your 8 o'clock time slot.
Yes.
I texted her and I was like, I'm envious that you're already done off the raid train. This isn't right.
And it was weird when it came to 8 o'clock. I was like, I'm supposed to be doing something.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was different.
it's good.
How did you like it? Because you weren't a part of it this time because you were
I was
working.
at work. I got to see some of it,
Yeah.
her show, and then some of other people's show. So,
She
Nice.
did good
Did
by
you have any
herself.
FOMO?
huh?
Any FOMO? Not so much.
Not really.
Yeah.
Let her do her thing.
Nice. What about you, Sean? Any great sales this week? I know
Yeah,
you're
man,
at
we can't wait. Just, if anybody's wanting the next show coming up, we found a huge plush. As you can tell, we found something for Amanda right there in the back, the Kool-Aid.
Payback's
but-
a bitch.
We saw Paul WV living down there, so it was a great day today to get out there for a Thursday. There were so many today; it was hard not to keep going. But we got out there this morning and hit about.
You saw him taking all them goodies away?
Paul, see, I
Nobody-
think Paul knew that lady, okay? And then she sends me the wrong address, and then Paul gets there first thing. If you're in there, Paul, you swipe that lounge fly from me because you probably had her send me the wrong address. I got
He
there
sent me
5
all the
minutes late.
pictures. He texted me all the pictures.
Yep,
He had a good
Yeah.
haul.
he did. Yep.
You guys got good stuff too, though.
Oh, we got good stuff for getting there a couple minutes late, But other than that was it. How about you guys?
It was a pretty good week this week. We had a few sales that were kind of higher than normal. We sold a Poppy Playtime plush set, mommy long legs, daddy long legs, and baby long legs for $100 on Macari. So it's nice to see
Nice.
that kind of sale from Macari.
Nice sale.
Yeah, I know, right? And then we took an offer. That's how. Yeah, it was a really good one. So we bought a bunch of like 12-inch Roblox tower defense plush a while back. And we sold about 2 so far out of the 7 we picked up, and that one sold for 30. And then don't sleep on Target Pillow Fort. There's this big forest bear. It's black. We sold for $33. So those are some of the better
Without
sales.
a tush tag too.
Yeah, so those are some of the better sales that we had. This week overall, we did about $1,200 so
Nice.
far. We got about 3 days
Nice.
left. So,
And we're in
Great job.
inventory.
and we're in inventory hell. That is all. We're doing inventory.
That is all.
What a time to do it. Third quarter.
How
Let's
many?
go.
Yeah.
How many have we done so far? So we did seven
We did
stacks
48
of
totes so far.
48 so far
Yeah.
of 310. So we're like,
Did 48 totes? What do you mean? What did you do with them?
so because we changed over to Nifty, we're
Mhm.
cross-referencing each location to make sure what's in there is in there, and it's not double listed on Nifty. So far we've done 48 totes out of 310 totes that
Nice.
we've pulled, audited, physically touched it, maybe combined them into another tote. Right now we have 2 empty totes that we can fill, and we've been filling everything that Bob's listed so far. So we think we have like 4 baskets left out of all those baskets we had lined up to be located and listed. So I'm gonna have to be taking photos again pretty soon.
No
Yeah,
wonder you never stop working.
yeah, and never quits.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, we got screwed a few times with eBay last year with Vendu. I mean, no offense to Vendu, but our personal experience, sales detection is not accurate for us. I don't know if it's the app's not being properly managed or there's some sort of communication problem, but we have been screwed by Vendu with eBay and had to cancel orders because it sold twice, because it sold on eBay one time or it sold on somewhere else and it didn't delist it. So
We came in before Vendu had sales detection.
yeah,
We've been using them for a while, so I think we're a product of like some of the older stuff that might have caught up with them in the process, and also their APIs not connecting to the platforms correctly, things of that nature. So I think that's partly what's going on.
and it also could be input error. Like we
Yeah,
obviously take
obviously,
ownership
yeah.
of maybe we inputted it wrong or failed to delist it, whatever. But so far we've had really good results using Nifty with tripling sales on Poshmark, which Poshmark was always the bottom one for us.
Mhm.
So I mean, so far so good, and detection is working really, really good, which I'm really pleased with that because.
Yeah. And the great thing about sales detection with Nifty is you don't have to have a browser open; it just does it, right?
Yeah,
Whereas Vendu, I think you still need to have a browser open.
they're still having
So.
conversations in the background.
No.
That's
Ryan
kinda
and Christine, do you use that as well or no?
What was the question?
I was asking if Ryan and Christine use that as well or no.
No,
We don't list on any other platforms. We just
Okay.
do whatnot.
we quit everything.
Now, Bob and Amanda, you guys mentioned to Mel, I think, that you guys get referrals for that Nifty. Is that it? Correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, we have affiliates. Code Rocket City. If you're interested in trying it, you get a discount from the first month with that.
Okay.
So I recommend if you're going to take it seriously and you want to break the boundaries of what you're getting for sales, it'll at least triple your sales right away. So it'll pay for itself. I know that price tag is a little hefty sometimes. I get it when you're first starting out. But if you're in full swing and you want to cross list other platforms, I recommend it. I am a software engineer, so I don't take that lightly. That's what I do by trade all day. So I'm very picky when it comes to software. So I haven't seen many flaws in the armor yet for
well,
Nifty.
and
But
I will say if you're scared of technology, because when we first started listing, I started only on Posh and Macari because you could do it from your phone and it was very like user friendly. It didn't take much like button clicking to do it, you know? So like for me, I lose my patience very quickly with technology, whereas he does not. So we were on Vendu for almost a year and a half before I even was like, I don't want to list on Vendu. I would still start on Macari and then cross list. And then in the last like 6 months before we got rid of it, I was listing solely just starting on Vendu and cross listing out. So, I mean, it's very user friendly for sure.
it is.
So, anyways, I mean,
But let's talk about what we really came for today. Rachel Strickland. Let's bring her in. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let's bring
Hey,
it.
Rachel.
I was being stupid. I was full disclosure trying to make them laugh through most of that, but it wasn't working. They maintained their composure or just decided to ignore me or something.
It was everything they could do. Hey, Ryan, I think this would be a good time for you to take over here.
Yeah, I want to introduce someone that believed in us before we believed in ourselves. She was our first YouTube subscriber before we even dropped a single video. She's always helped the reselling community as much as she can. She's done all that. I've watched her grow for so long, and she's grown so much over the past few years while giving all the glory to God. Introduce my sister in Christ, Rachel Strickland.
yeah.
That was
Welcome
such a
in.
beautiful introduction. I'm glad you guys let Ryan introduce me because he's probably the person that had the most nice things to say about me. What's y'all's problem?
Well,
I'm
he
just kidding.
cried for this honor,
I'm
Rachel. He cried for this honor.
I'm honestly so glad to be here. I'm glad that you guys are doing this podcast. It's been like a little longer than a minute since I've been on any YouTube live. So thanks for having me on.
Rachel had us on first. We were the
Yeah.
first live
Mhm.
that we were ever on YouTube was Rachel.
That was awesome. That was fun.
Yep.
Sorry,
The
guys.
big reason we got to 1,000 subscribers as well.
Oh yeah, did that happen on the show?
On your what show?
Oh,
it was on
that's
the
so
next live
fun.
you were doing.
Friend.
Yeah, you were on us. I forgot
No,
what.
she had a live with someone else. I don't
Yeah.
remember who was on it, but
And you were like, give Gulf Coast pickers. And then we were watching the numbers and we were like, oh, we hit it. We hit it.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. Like, fewer than 10% of YouTube channels ever reach 1,000 subscribers. So where 1,000 seems like a low number, it's fewer than 10%. It's
crazy.
phenomenal. It's a huge goal.
No, ma'am.
It's awesome. So now you're at how many subs?
I'm at like 53.5 maybe.
53.5. I remember how we met. Do you remember how we met?
I don't know if we met before this, but I remember you sending me an Instagram message that you had a new channel coming out. But
No, you were trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, and you messaged me, "Hey, would you subscribe to my YouTube channel on
oh my
Instagram?"
gosh, I didn't actually
And
know
I
that.
said, "I will if you subscribe to ours."
You're right. I sent the
That's
first
why she's our
message.
first subscriber.
Some of the best people in my life I've met through DMs, including my own husband.
I slid into those DMs. That's awesome.
Yeah, we met on Facebook actually.
That's fantastic.
Melly, you decided to join us. Nice to see you,
Yeah,
Mel.
I had to pick up our daughter from work, so I'm running a little late.
How's those bee stings going?
Much better.
Now she just won't stop itching them, wanting to dig them open.
When I
Oh,
get bit by ants, that's all I do is itch them, itch them, itch them. Crazy.
Red ants are terrible. The South will rise again.
Yeah.
Well, Rachel, why don't you tell us what you did before reselling?
directly before reselling, I worked real estate for 15 years. I was a realtor. It sounds like super glamorous and like it's a lot of money, but you guys know how frugal I am. I always tried to sell foreclosures. So the houses I sold were like $15. And if someone was approved for like $100,000, I'm like, no, let's get you a house for $36,000. So I was making pennies, and I would work for so long to make those pennies. In real estate, you don't get paid unless something sells. So there's no buyer's agency here. So imagine like I put Amanda in my car and I drive her around for 6 months looking at houses for 6 months. And then suppose she makes an offer. Suppose it gets accepted. Then we have another 30 to 45 days. So what if I invested like 7 or 8 months and I'm selling cheap houses? I'm selling foreclosures. So I might make $300 or $400 at the end of 7 or 8 months worth of work with Amanda. Like, y'all can have that. I love what I do now.
I've done a little bit of real estate.
Yeah.
It's a
Before
lot.
that, I actually worked in factories for a while. I worked in an air conditioning and heat pump factory until I went into labor on the line because we were pulling these heat pumps down the line and they're heavy. So my job was to wire the heat pumps and then send it down the line. But I was 9 months. Well, I was actually only like 7.5, 8 months pregnant. I went into labor. It was too early. So I lost my job there because I couldn't go to work the next day because I was at the hospital because they had to stop my labor. So that's the last job I had that I actually clocked into. And I mean, if that doesn't speak for every job that you'll ever clock into, you are so replaceable. Yeah. They did not miss me even for a second. They probably had me replaced by the time I got to the hospital to stop my labor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I always joke around about they'll have my job replacement before my obituary is written. So just keep that in mind. So.
Yeah, but you're
That's
never
crazy.
replaceable to your family. Those are the only people who could never replace you. Like spend your time with them, right?
Absolutely.
So what was the final straw that made you just decide, hey, let me try reselling, and how would it affect you and work for you?
So my youngest is 9 years old now, and when I was pregnant with him, I always thrifted out of necessity because I just told you I was making $300 or $400 every 8 months. Like, your girl was broke, and so I would thrift out of necessity. But every once in a while, I would find something that was incredible name brand. I remember finding these Cachet brand sequin pants, and they were a size 6, and I definitely was not. And I still bought them because I couldn't leave them behind. And I was like, maybe one day I'll wear those pants. I don't have any desire to be that size, okay? But I couldn't leave those pants behind. And then somehow stumbled on YouTube. So I have YouTube to credit. But it was this girl who's not even a reseller talking about the Goodwill bins, which I hadn't heard of, and how she bought some stuff to sell. And I was like, okay, so these great brands that I can't leave behind, I could actually sell them to other people. So I was still pregnant, and made my first trip to the Goodwill bins, which is a 3 hours one way. It's a 6-hour round trip for me to go to the bins.
Totally.
So I don't even want to hear it from you guys. They're like, oh, I have to drive 10 minutes to get to the bins. All right, it's not an hour on a lunch break.
We don't
It has
have
to
any
be-
bins close by either, so
Yes, it's an all-day excursion if I go to the bins. I'm staying for both changeovers. I'm going to stay there. So I drove up there, and I listened to some good advice that I don't even like the person I heard the advice from, so I'm not going to credit them. But their advice was, don't look through a bin and not dig all the way to the bottom. Kind of like, you didn't come this far to only come this far. And Ryan is guilty of not digging he just looks at the top. Christine will dig to the bottom. And so my first time I was like, I'm going all the way to the bottom. And I found like Coach and Marc Jacobs and all this stuff my very first time at the bins. And I was like, I should be a reseller. So I started reselling. I'm trying to make the story a little bit shorter. I started reselling, and then I was still a realtor. I would be in the real estate office like, I hope nobody walks in wanting to buy a house because I'm working on eBay. Until one day I was bold enough to literally burn every bridge. I could not go back to work at that place if I had to right now. I'm telling you, I burned every bridge. And that's honestly what it took. I feel like God put that in my life because he knew, like a dog returns to its vomit, I would keep going back. And he gave me every sign to cut loose real estate, and I still wouldn't do it. And it took literally burning the bridge, blowing up the ships. Okay. I cannot ever go back there. But now I had to be all in on reselling on social media, which has gotten bigger than the reselling in some capacities. And I won't look back. I don't need to go back now.
Yep.
Awesome.
What's your favorite platform to sell on?
I was just gonna ask you.
So eBay is always going to have a big part of my heart because some of the really weird stuff I like to sell, my buyer's on eBay. Like, guys, I sold a gum wrapper. I'm not going to sell that on Whatnot. They're going to laugh at me and cancel my show. Okay. They're going to leave immediately. But I sold a dadgum gum wrapper. You know why? Because someone was looking for it. And where are they going to go if they're looking for that? They're going to pull up eBay. So I don't think I sell more on Whatnot than I do on eBay now. But my favorite, I think, is always going to be eBay because I've sold such an eclectic, ridiculous mix of things over there. And if I need big money out of something, I can put it over there. But that being said, I make big money over on Whatnot. I don't have $1 starts. I discourage $1 starts. I wouldn't start anything for less than, honestly, $3, but $2 is a good place.
He's a possum handler.
Juicer, my duster.
Drew.
Possum handler with the traveling carnival. We have so many possums out here. We live in the woods, like in 6 acres of woods, and we have so many animals. If there's a possum, I'm not going even outside. Just keep me inside.
That's funny. So Whatnot you think is for you?
I love Whatnot. Whatnot is, I mean, they're almost even. I just love how eclectic my things can be over on eBay, but obviously, like, I'm not a shy person. I'm very extroverted. I love the stage. And so Whatnot brought that into reselling in a way that I feel like Poshmark wanted to be a social platform and it never happened for them. That's why they wanted you to like and share and make friends over there. They wanted this social media meets reselling. And they've tried to copy what Whatnot has done in the way of live sales, but Whatnot is truly a social media selling platform. I've made friends on Whatnot that I don't know outside of Whatnot. name another platform that you've made friends on. I've never made friends on eBay, Mercari,
Right.
Poshmark, but I have made friends, people that I've met in real life because of our connection from Whatnot. Like,
Whatnot.
if you had told me that that was going to happen, I wouldn't believe it, but I think that they've perfected it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Now-
we're all living true of that because at some point we've all intermingled with each other.
Yeah.
We've all met-
We've all met on Whatnot.
Yeah.
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 So,
Yeah.
I got to meet
If it
Rachel.
wasn't for Whatnot, we probably wouldn't have met.
I would have never.
Yeah.
Never. So.
Yeah, so I guess what we're saying is there's pros and cons to having met on Whatnot, right there, Amanda and Bob, with somebody to the right of us. Yeah,
Me?
we love Christine, but we got to take the good with the bad,
Listen, I am more like Ryan than I am Christine, so I can't say I don't like him. I love him.
Ryan's my bin bro.
I have to
Yeah,
say
we're
hi
all-
to Christopher.
And your
Also forward.
concert buddy. We saw
Yeah,
this picture.
exactly. Yeah, we go to Coldplay all the time.
Oh, okay.
Now, Rachel, did you start out like a lot of us have mentioned, where we just start going and grabbing everything, or did you already have an idea that you wanted to focus in on certain items only?
I felt like I've always had a pretty good feel for, like, there's people that know quality and there's people that need to be taught that. And I do think that it comes, I'm not going to say it's easier, but it comes more naturally if you can feel clothes and you know what's wool and what's cashmere, what's silk. If you can tell quality without having to be told what brands to look for. And so I had that naturally. I would pick up those items, but then I would warn people against falling into the trap that is watching YouTube, especially haul videos. Haul videos are only going to show you what someone bought. Okay. I know that people love haul videos. People love shop with me. There's a reason I don't put a lot of them out on my channel. I always try to give more to this community than what I take. And I think that is just taking views. They make more views. That's great, but you're not giving anything to the community. I'm just telling you what I bought. That doesn't mean it's going to sell for anything.
Right.
Hone in on what sold videos, because I would watch people's haul videos and I started picking up Ann Taylor, Ann Klein, like Cato's, all these brands, mall brands that they're big around here because I live in a small town of 2 stoplights. But in the grand scheme of things, they're like $10 and $15 brands. And I didn't know. And I filled my basement up with all of this. And that's how you get a death pile really quickly.
Yep.
So, like, if you have a natural instinct for what is quality, trust your instinct and pick up those items. Otherwise, do your own research. It's very easy to find comps and find items that sold and watch what sold, not haul videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good advice. I
Yep.
wish we'd known that about Beanie Babies.
Right? Because, yeah, some things that you hear might be good. Or, like, if I had $1 for every time a reseller said to pick up Starbucks mugs, that needs a 15-minute caveat, okay? Because 90% of them are junk and they're not worth the shipping. It's going to take $10 to ship a mug across the country. It just is. It's going to be over £1. You're going to have to, pack it and everything. Full living room, full basement. Yeah. By the time that you pack it, so you better get a mug that's not only worth the $10 shipping and then is worth at least $10 of your time. So you're going to find a $20 mug. He's making fun.
He's just telling the truth back there.
It's okay because I think it's all of us. Because
Yeah, I come home with my car full a lot.
Garage, everything. Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Even
funny.
when we first started watching videos, we were like, oh, they say to get this, they say to get that. And you're right. Like, we ended up with like so much stuff that we just ended up redonating because we had wished that we had done a little bit more thoughtful research into what really people are looking for or what has a better sell-through rate.
We could probably rapid fire brands and names. Every piece of Revere wear is not worth it. Vintage Tupperware, it's not all worth it. Free People, not every piece of Free People is going to sell for $50 or more. Like, what are some of y'all's brands that you wouldn't pick up again?
Douglas.
Yes. We hear
All these
you
toy
never have the
resellers.
right one.
That was good.
Never have the right
Yes.
Douglas. Doesn't matter which one you
Yep,
pick up.
doesn't
It's not
matter.
I
right.
have 3 baskets of Douglas and it's not the right one. For the
Yes.
love of God.
Yeah.
Oh, what Christy said, Lululemon. Yes.
Yeah, especially now is really falling out where you used to be able to resell Lululemon for a lot more. And I understand now, like, that's just not there. And then there are certain pieces of Lululemon that have never had resale value, 3/4 length leggings and things like that. Like, quit.
I got
You
rid
just you can't watch someone whose main bread and butter is the ad revenue and watch their haul video and watch their pickup video where they bought 15 pairs of 3/4 length Lululemon, or they're going to sell them based off of their subscribers, which is fantastic. They took time to build that up, but
Yeah.
honest to God, it doesn't matter what they pick up. It's going to sell for $20 plus because of who they are. I am not discrediting the time it takes to build that YouTube following, but that's different than what we're going to be able to sell it for.
That's their reality, not ours.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what sold videos on eBay are always going to tell you what it's selling
Right.
for.
Right. And it's hard. It's hard being a new reseller and seeing that and wanting that and being like, I can do that. And then you go out and then you've made no money. You have all this shit.
Yes.
And your thrift store is full of George brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
From
poof.
Walmart.
You,
Like, where's this
you
stuff
think
coming
it's
from?
you think it's free people, and you look at the tag and it says poof, and I want to rip the tag off every time.
Listen, George is a great brand. Don't get me wrong. Walmart saved my life. In my
But it doesn't resell.
No.
Yeah, it doesn't resell.
It's not going to pay the light bill.
Definitely not. Yeah.
What's
so
your favorite thing to sell, Rachel?
I was just gonna say.
My favorite thing to sell is probably obscure vintage. As much as I love designer, I'm sitting in front of all these Coach bags. It's kind of my whatnot setup lately. If I don't pick up designer, if I find Louis Vuitton in the thrift store and I don't pick it up, what's going to happen? The next person's going to come along and pick it up. There is value there, regardless of who you are. You're going to see the value. It is not going to the trash. Now, when we found a 1960s little boy's coat and I pull a gum wrapper out of the pocket and I sell that gum wrapper again on eBay, who else? If I didn't sell it on eBay, what else was going to happen with it? It was going to go to the trash. But it was 1961 Wrigley's gum wrapper. And there's someone who collects gum wrappers who needed that one piece in their collection. So the truly obscure vintage is my favorite stuff to sell because I feel like you honestly are saving it from the trash. And there are some people who are completists. Their collection is not complete until they have the lunchbox that you found.
Right.
And if it's something that you can rehab, and retain the value in the patina, like I just think obscure vintage is the most fun to sell. It's kind of a challenge, I guess.
And there's something really satisfying about finding something for somebody that they've been looking for. It's just, it's like satisfying for us at least because we like to help them complete their collections.
Yeah.
There's more of a story, like American Pickers, where they always tell, someone's going to be looking for this oil can or someone's going to be looking for this. Or like my son sells Lego. And it's amazing what some of these minifigs will sell for because at the end of the day, they're just plastic pieces, but it's valuable to someone. So I like to get the stuff that's valuable to someone, and then you have to find that someone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying that it's right buyer, right time a lot of times?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because I could list something, and if that buyer's not looking right at the moment, like the thing may stay on there for 6 months, and then a different season, I list the thing and it's gone immediately. And I know you guys talked a little bit on the podcast before about you almost get seller's remorse when something sells really quickly, and you think like I paid tuition on that. But sometimes that's not the case. And I think I learned that in real estate because on occasion we would list a house. They would listen to us about the pricing and the value because we had to pull comps the same as we have to in reselling. And if the house sold within the first week, the seller was always like, well, gosh, I still have to pay 6% commission. I'm thinking you should pay 10% commission because I sold your house faster. Do you want it to take 180 days? So if you sell something and it sells immediately, sometimes it's not that you underpriced it. It's that the right buyer saw it. You had the best price for it. Like you did your homework, and you should be patting yourself on the back, not regretting it.
That's definitely a better perspective to look at it because I look at it as like, oh crap.
No, you got what you wanted out of it too.
Yeah.
And you made a profit.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. That's awesome.
True. I saved some searches, and my son has saved searches on mine, so I get notified every time there's a Star Wars minifig lot.
Awesome.
What's your best sell you've ever had? Biggest, best?
I always go back to, this is kind of a funny story, so I'm sorry. Like any of my stories are short. I'm not even going to apologize. It's like saying, sorry, my house is messy. It always looks like that. Anyway, so I dropped my kids off at school, and I was in a rush that morning. I didn't even brush my teeth before I left the house. And I drive by this estate sale, and I was like, okay, I got to go home and brush my teeth first. So I went home, cleaned up my teeth real quick, went back to the estate sale, and I found this vinyl pouch of silverware. And I was like, ooh, this is really pretty. It looks like a complete set. How much? And it was all of like the granddaughters and cousins there. So a different generation selling their grandparents' stuff. And the lady says $5. And the cousins to her said, oh, that's kind of low. And I said, I'll give you at least 10. And they were like, okay, $10. And so here I am in my flip-flops and like all but house shoes, right? Just brushed my teeth. I give her the $10. I bought some other stuff there. And I go home. I thought it was silver plated. You see where this is going. It was sterling. So I sold it for $1,000 to a lady in Georgia plus $12 shipping. And so from my $10 to $1,000, but I had people messaging me saying, you're never going to get this price. You're so off on the market, blah, 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 blah. I will offer you 500. And I was like, you know what? It takes up this much space in my office. I'm going to sit on it until I sell it for 1,000. And I did.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. They just wanted to get that out from underneath you and flip it.
Yeah. Yeah. It did. I had a Wu-Tang. Well, it was GZA. What's that called? What is it called, Ryan? You know, Jizza or something. Yeah. So I had one of their cassettes. I found sealed and paid 25 cents for it. I listed it at like 400, somewhere around there. And I would have so many people message me lowball offers for, I probably held on to it for a year. How much space does a cassette tape take up? I'm not worried about it. Like, I have 1,000 items listed over here. Why do I care if this cassette tape sits here? I sold it for like $375 eventually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hold your ground. That's what I'm hearing. Sometimes you got to hold your ground. Sometimes you got to pay the electric bill. Like, you know, so you got to make that decision, right?
Oh, that is so true. Yeah, definitely. I told my sister yesterday, she got this pretty new trench coat. And I said, I remember I bought this Burberry trench coat from this millionaire's estate in Paducah, Kentucky. And number one, it was a little big on me. So that made it easier. But number two, I had to have the money and I had to sell it. It was Burberry and I wanted to keep it, but I needed the money. So yeah, you got to figure out what's important that week.
Yeah.
For sure.
We've sold some stuff we wish we would have sold because we needed the money. That's for sure.
Lisa Frank bag. I mean, I wish I didn't have to sell it, but it's not like it was the turtle, peekaboo turtle. If it was peekaboo turtle, I would have ate soup, you know. But
we're having ramen tonight.
That's right.
It was the kissing fish, so I was like, okay, $500. All right, let's go.
Oh
let's do
my
it.
gosh, that's so awesome.
And
Yeah, sometimes you got to look at it and be like, this is mortgage this month. Like, well, I picked up a cash register the other day and they wanted $40 and it sells for $250. And the lady's like, what are you going to do with this? I said, trade it for a week's worth of groceries. Like, that's what I'm going to do with it. If you really want to know, I'm going to feed my family for a whole daggum week. And then I'm going to cook them the meals.
I always wonder what drives those type of questions. Like,
I know we get them a lot because we buy like
what are you going to do with all that?
plush.
They want to know if you're a reseller. And I don't know why they care. Resellers keep thrift store doors open. It's not people going in because they need a pair of pants. When I thrifted out of necessity, I wasn't keeping their doors open. I'm spending $12 at a time. Now, if I go in and I'm going to fill my cart, I'm going to spill $100, $200. You should open privately for me instead of putting up a sign that says
Let us
limit
shop in
buy.
the back room.
Yeah, you should welcome me with open arms, especially like our thrift store. We have two now because one just opened last week. But we have one here in town and they would literally limit things. And I asked them one time, I said, how come the sewing patterns have a limit of 5? Sewing patterns, guys. How come they have a limit of 5? They said, because people come in and buy a bunch of them and resell them. I'm like, so you would rather them just sit on the shelves than someone come in and give you a 25 cents a piece? And the mission of this thrift store is to feed people in our area. Do you not understand the conversion of that into food for people? Buy anything you want and get it out because there's such an influx. We're talking 7,000 people in this community, but there's a large number of people in the rural area in the county. So at least 10,000 people, that's their only place to donate. You're not short on donations.
Right.
Yeah. It is crazy that we've noticed more and more. We get a lot. Well, we hear more criticism when you're at these yard sales, like, oh, well, we're just waiting for the resellers to show up. I mean, guess because we don't come with a GoPro, they don't realize we're resellers, but you hear them in the back going, well, if the resellers come up and we ask, we're going to raise and double their prices. So we get so much criticism nonstop anymore. And I just don't understand the logic behind it. It's like, you know, if we pay your price and everything like that, if that's what the value you put on your item and we pay it,
Yep.
Mhm.
Not our
Because I don't
fault.
talk people down. I give them what they're asking, or like I just told you, I gave that lady double what she wanted.
Yeah.
I will pay you what you want. If it's crazy and we both agree it's crazy and you negotiate to come down, like I'm never
Right.
trying to take advantage of anyone. You gotta buy
Yeah.
groceries too.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah.
But then you do find some of those, like Bob, I know he loves to haggle. You do find some of those gentlemen that, hey, I'm going to start high because I want this interaction because it's enjoyable.
Mhm.
So
Right.
Some people like to
some people
haggle.
like to do
Yeah.
that, but there's some that truly hate resellers in general.
Yeah.
I had a lady at the 100 Mile yard sale. I just had my Ray-Ban glasses on recording, so she really couldn't tell because I don't do a GoPro and all that. And she was like, "You should have came on Thursday. All the resellers came and got the vintage this and the vintage that." My son and I were there. And we were like, "Tack on resellers." And then we made jokes about resellers for like the next 2 minutes of the video.
That called Free Across America?
What's that?
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it was fleeing across America.
I think that's our next meetup. We got to really, Christine, can you put that together since you've done
Yeah,
it?
I got it. I got it.
Have you guys
All right,
ever been
Nick-
to Missouri? That would be fleeing halfway across America.
Right. I used to buy pumpkins and watermelons in Missouri with my
Really?
grandpa when I was little. They had a nursery.
I could see that. I mean, we have more agriculture than livestock here. I live in a farming community. It's like cotton and soybeans largely.
So I have a question for your reselling process. So stuff that you have on eBay or other, do you sell just on eBay or eBay and Posh?
I have my Poshmark exists. That's a different question than whether or not I sell on Poshmark, because I don't like, is there a DNR over there? Because they failed to resuscitate anything I ever
I
had
know
selling.
it's filled with so many bots. I don't. But
Like
Yeah.
my
So
stuff's
if
dead
you-
over there.
if you have stuff that's not moving on those, do you bring that to Whatnot, or what does that look like for you if you've got stagnant, or like what makes you decide what to put where, based on how you're going to sell it, so how long you've been selling and whatnot like that.
So pretty much anything I would put on eBay, I would also put on Poshmark, with the caveat that if it's over 5 pounds, that's
Right.
going to be a problem on Poshmark. So there are, I mean, like a cash register. I'm not afraid to ship heavy stuff. I sold an Apple II computer a couple weeks ago. I'm not going to put that on Poshmark because it's not going to be the counter rate. It's going to be an exorbitant rate for them to charge me for a USPS label. So if it's over 5 pounds, it will never go on Poshmark. Other than that, pretty much anything. Because people are definitely buying more than clothes or what they were in the infancy of Poshmark.
Yeah.
I like to bring stuff to Whatnot that was really low buy cost for me.
Okay.
So that I can offer it at a low price on Whatnot. But like these purses behind me, most of them start at $49 on Whatnot. Not $1, not $2. I start my stuff at $49 and I make sales, and I will have a big shipment going out over the weekend. And I mean, I know it's easy for people to think like, oh, but you have a YouTube following. My YouTube audience is not the ones buying from me on Whatnot. And you guys spoke about that in, I think Mel was talking about it in maybe the first episode, about how like your friends and family, they're not the ones buying from you.
Right.
And I feel like maybe it was you, Mel, that was talking about that. Like you really have to start from the ground up, unless you are Harry Tornado, which Josh and Haley, I would never say anything bad about those people. I would defend them in a room full of ninjas. Let's get that straight first, okay? But they built that community brick by brick that they have on YouTube. They deserve every sale that is over market value that they get on Whatnot. That being said, I can't compare my sales to theirs. They do have a community on YouTube that will follow them to Whatnot and overbid their stuff. And they know that, and they'll be the first to tell you, stop bidding, guys. But I don't have that. With 53,000 subscribers, you have to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers before they're going to follow you over there like that.
Yep.
So maybe someday, fingers crossed, you guys will see my stuff going over market value, and I will not shed a tear the day that comes. And I don't care what anyone says about it. Like, I wish I had his audience. So I feel like anyone that talks smack about them doing that is just jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Mhm.
for sure.
Yes.
What do you think about consumables like they're doing with the soap and everything else?
I think it's a lot of fun, because if someone loves your product, obviously they're going to come back, because then it's gone. I personally own their Love Spell body lotion, Haley's body lotion. It smells great. And I have their Love Spell soap, and I have their soap dish. It is all great product. I will also say that I've seen soap sellers on Whatnot struggle to sell one bar for $4, $8. So
like $20-something. Like,
yes, I was lucky to get the set that I got.
It starts at $1 too, right? Everything.
A lot of times, a lot of times, or maybe $9, you know, sometimes. But he did say the other day though that he had a soap only show, I think, and he shut it down after a few minutes because it was going so poorly. So again, like even with almost 400,000 subscribers, they can still have those shows where you're like, I'm done with this. You know, like don't feel bad if you get on Whatnot and the audience isn't there. I always compare Whatnot to a brick and mortar. If I had a brick and mortar boutique and I opened at 9 a.m. and someone walks in and they're looking around, they walk out, 2 more people walk in, a third walks in, the 2 leave, and then all of a sudden everyone leaves. Am I going to turn the sign around and say closed and close my business? No. Like, you have to stay in there. And another big thing, like with Whatnot previews now, you guys stay in there, Ryan. With Whatnot previews now, you can preview a show before you go in. So I'm sorry. I don't care who I'm going to offend. You are stupid if you have no one in your show and you act like no one's in your show. Because when people are scrolling and they hear you going, and you're not, no. Y'all, if no one's in my show, you know what you're gonna see as a preview. And look, I have this awesome fossil bag. Oh my gosh, this thing is so cute, and I leather conditioned it and blah blah. So that if you scroll across the preview, you're gonna see me selling something. You're gonna say, okay, I gotta check out this girl.
Yeah.
Someone can come in and swipe at any time. You just never know.
And it happens. Like when someone just comes in and Ryan will say, wow, you know, boom. You knew you wanted it. Yeah. I
know. Sometimes I wonder if it was a mistake. I'm like, did you just pop in and I've been live for 45 minutes?
Every time I think it, I'm like, they didn't mean to do that. There's
did
no
you
way.
mean to do that? I was waiting for the cancellation when that happened.
Some excuse, my cat swiped.
You kind of had that reaction the other day at that Broncos hat that sold. You were kind of shocked that somebody actually swiped it. Yeah.
I mean, I was happy.
Yeah.
I knew it would sell eventually. She was shocked.
You just don't like the Broncos or what?
He's a Dolphins fan.
I'm putting it in there. And I think Whatnot, when you have really high valued stuff, the people aren't even going to bite, you know?
Yeah.
So
Drew got a Dan Marino jersey the other day.
Huh?
What happened?
Drew got a Dan Marino jersey. You said Dolphins,
wow.
sorry.
Did he? Nice.
Yeah.
I'll have them text you a picture of it.
Yeah, definitely.
And when that sold, I was like, and he just looked at me like, see? And
how much did you sell it for?
$75.
Yes.
Let's talk about how much did you buy it for? That's always the better question.
32, I think.
Huh?
32.
That's a pretty good profit for Whatnot for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Christopher, your cats can come to my Whatnot show anytime. They're gonna bid.
Yes.
They do be swiping. They be like hitting. You ever see those videos? So it's totally possible it could happen.
Yeah.
What has your worst buy ever been reselling? I think I know the answer to that.
I do too. I think I do.
The one I set on fire on YouTube. There's a whole YouTube video of me setting this on fire because it was that bad. It burned a relationship that I have with somebody. It was so bad. So the new owner, I'm sorry, this is just so funny. The new owner of the theater in our town, I was like, hey, you guys got any old posters or cool memorabilia or anything? And he's like, I got all these posters upstairs and none of them have been gone through. And it's like the last 2 decades of posters and blah, blah, blah. And so I come up there and they're just boxes of posters. It's this whole room of boxes of posters stacked up. I can't look through everything. It wasn't until after we made an agreement that I find out the old owner used to sell them on eBay. He's already been through all of them. This is all. And the guy knew this. The guy knew it. And not only that, when we went back to get him, he pulled some out and he's like, well, no, not the Elvis one. I said, okay, I comped out Elvis. He's like the $50 poster. You only have a few in here. That was such a ripoff. Coco says, OMG, the posters. Guys, I filled my entire living room. If there was one poster, there was 2,000 of them.
Wow.
I tried to sell them on Whatnot twice. I was probably too angry to sell them. I sold a few on eBay. I did, but about the time that I got the posters is when USPS decided that any item over, 21 inches was going to incur an additional fee. So now not only do I have all these posters, what am I going to do? Fold it up? No one wants to buy it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I had a bonfire and made a YouTube video about it.
That's what I want to do with Douglas so bad.
She does.
So is Douglas a plush brand
She's
that you
saying
guys
it
hate?
in her show now.
Yeah, so here's the thing. There's Douglas Cuddlekins, which is a smaller version. It's kind of like an Aurora Flopsy. They're smaller. And then they have bigger Douglas, and they make realistic animal plush. And the dogs and the cats are well sought off, just kind of like jelly cats.
Okay.
But they're looking for the ones that are like a lot of money. So newsflash, those aren't coming to Whatnot. Like we all know, that's going to be like a rare thing that comes to Whatnot because we're going to get the price on eBay. I'll hold out for eBay. I'll hold out for Poshmark. So when I bring them into the like every show, every raid train, no matter what, you're going to be asked every time. And so I've just been saying, well, no, those are going in the fire because I've gotten to the point where I'm like, nothing new from last time I showed you, nothing new from last time. You're really not going to do that. Well, every time you ask me, I bring you them out and you don't want them. So like at this point, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. And
I feel like you should bring your expensive Douglas to Whatnot.
well, they're all gone. I brought them all in. We sold
Oh.
whatever we had, but every time we bring them in, it's I have that one. I'm really particular.
It happens in all our shows every time.
Every time.
So I had one Barbie. I like to sell vintage Barbie on Whatnot. And I had one Barbie show where I literally took my most expensive Barbie outfits. Some of the girls in the chat were in this show, so they can attest. I took my most expensive Barbie outfits off of eBay, and some of them I raised the price like $3 or $4. We're talking $110 a Barbie outfit. And I sold almost everything that I had listed in that show for my eBay prices.
Wow.
That's
So I feel like if you obviously you want your bread and butter is going to be your $2 and $3 starts on plushes or whatever you guys start at, but you can have like a few really expensive things and the collectors are there because Whatnot draws. It's a collector's marketplace, so it's going to draw the people. If I walked into a show and I saw the right Louis Vuitton, I just spent like $230 on a Coach bag on Whatnot the other day, and they started it at $1. Like there are people who are collectors that are going to spend the amount of money that you want for that item. And if they're not, you don't have to start it at $1. Start it where you want to sell it.
Yeah. What is the biggest thing that drives you nuts about being a seller on Whatnot?
The biggest thing that drives me nuts. I'm not trying to think of something. I'm trying to narrow it down to one thing to talk about. The biggest thing that drives me nuts is probably a silent chat. I literally, guys, I know you're not going to believe this because I talk so much, but when I was a kid, I would imagine, like, I think Cribs was just coming about, and I would imagine that, like, a camera was following me around. YouTube wasn't a thing yet when I was a kid, okay? And I would imagine when I was putting on my makeup as a teenager that I was, like, showing someone how to do it. I would walk people, like, through my bedroom, and I just always imagined that, like, a camera was following me. So it's funny that I do this now, like, that I talk to. This room is empty. You guys are over here. But it's funny that I actually do this now. It's like part of me knew that I was going to be talking to a camera as a job one day. So I don't mind talking to myself, but I hate it when there's 12 people in my chat and no one is saying anything. Like, obviously the 12 people in my chat are here for moral support, which is amazing. If you show up and you're painting your toenails and you want to watch Rachel Strickland on Whatnot, you are welcome. Come hang out with me. But say something. Say something.
How many times have I complained
Ryan,
about it?
he complains about that. I'm like, I'm in show mode. I'm just showing. I just want to show you what I have. Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it?
And that's easier for you guys because
doesn't
it's a
bother me.
two-person show.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, if I come in your chat, I'm going to talk too much. Like, I was in y'all's chat the other day. I probably talked too much. I'm in Ryan Christine's chat. I'm going to ask Ryan every single time if he'll sell me that alien.
You don't have to now. Drew got you one.
Listen,
I'm surprised you didn't have it in the background.
I've asked him every time I show up in their chat. Yeah, I need to have him like right over here.
Yes.
Every time I show up in their chat, I'm like, will you sell me the alien? Sell me the alien. Sell me the alien.
For years.
Guys, my husband found it on eBay and gave it to me for Christmas.
So sweet.
That's a great Christmas present.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this huge big box come in from eBay, but I never would have guessed it was that alien. He's like, do you have any idea how hard that was to find in that condition? Yes, it's in my living room now. Yeah. I don't know. Random.
Hey,
What's your whatnot? I think mine is Givey Goblins. I know I'm always gonna say that.
What is that?
I don't
hate
mind
that
giving
word.
I don't mind giving giveaways. I love it. But if you're just gonna come into someone's show and be like, "What's your giveaway?" You can go in our tabs and see if we have one or not.
Yeah.
So like one went into Sean's show the other day, and I was like, "We don't do Givey Goblins here." I didn't have the authority to boot them, but I just outed them right in the
No,
chat.
right out of the middle of the chat. As soon as he popped in, he said, "What's the
So-
giveaway?" Amanda's like, "Not here. Get out."
I think I did ask someone in my chat once, have you ever bought anything from me? Wait, I've never seen your name. Whenever they
Right?
ask.
Yeah,
Like,
that
the
was
word
easy.
"givey" is so cringe to me. It literally makes my skin crawl. It's like someone going uppies.
Yeah. Like, what can you do for me? Wait a
Yeah.
second.
It grosses me out for a grown adult to be like "givey." I'm
Yeah.
like,
Now, with you having so many purses back there, and in case there's anybody in chat, do you have any YouTube videos that you've done that shows your process of like refurbishing or rehabbing them at all? I mean, do you have that, or do you want to disclose?
Sean's
any
clearly
of that?
never watched my channel, so I'm out
Oh,
of
he's
here.
been outed. Oh.
No.
Her restoration is chef's
her
kiss.
laugh.
I
that
can't
was a
tell if
short.
you're
That was
being
a real.
serious or not, Sean, but I'm just gonna say reselling is not his only job, guys. This man works 2 jobs, okay? It's okay that you've never watched, but yes, that's kind of my thing.
Hey, Bob don't even know, so I ain't
Hey,
the only one.
actually, I do know because I've
Oh,
done
okay,
my,
it's
I've
okay.
been following Rachel for quite
We
some
do our
time.
research, Sean. Maybe you should.
And I did do research.
Hey, I did do research, but I didn't find that damn video.
Her
There's like
restoration is
74 of
chef's
them.
kiss. Chef's
But
kiss.
listen, so I did one where
Leather
I restored-
CPR. I already got that. Leather CPR. You got the Brasso for the hardware. I know, girl.
So I am
With the
sponsored
snap.
by. Okay, listen, Sean. I'm actually sponsored by cleaning brands at this time because I have so many purse cleaning videos. So Clean Kicks, their sponsor, and they actually created. They're a shoe cleaning company, but they created what they call the Purse Paradise bundle just for my viewers on their
Nice.
website, which is awesome. I love that product. Code Rachel20 saves you 20% on their website. And then recently, Leather CPR. Like, I don't know if you've ever restored a purse, you've used Leather CPR. They reached out recently and sent me, I don't know, 70 products, several to give away in my last video. But I did 1 week where every day I restored a vintage Coach bag. And then Clean Kicks actually sponsored a week where every day I restored a Louis Vuitton bag. I've got like some vintage Gucci that I restore on the channel. I love it. I love to take a bag that is so trashed that it's headed for the garbage and restore it. Yeah, she said I'm a scientist because I ruffled a lot of feathers in my last video where in the Coach community, they call themselves coachies. In the coachy community, they have this law that if there's mold on a bag, you spray it with vinegar. We're talking about vintage leather. Spray it with vinegar and set it in the sun for a day. Does that sound like a good idea to anybody?
No.
It's not. So I obviously came at it from a scientific standpoint of what is the pH of leather, 4.5 to 5.5. The pH of vinegar is 2.5, which is 100 times more acidic. So here's a safer alternative. Use 70% isopropyl alcohol. And though they didn't comment on my YouTube, there's this Facebook group that they did everything but eat me alive. They are so mad that I suggested anything outside of what their norm was. The bedazzled. But they are so angry at me still. I'm surprised they haven't kicked me out of the group for suggesting to use alcohol rather than vinegar, just because it's not what you're told to use, which I think the vinegar trend was just like a TikTok tip gone rogue. It's destroying vintage bags. In 20 years, we're not going to have vintage Coach to collect if everyone keeps spraying them with vinegar and leaving them out in the sun.
Wouldn't it eat it? Like, I would think it would eat it.
It's the dumbest idea. I didn't say that in my video is the thing. So in my video, I'm wearing like this lab coat and I have this little toy. I should have got a plush from one of you guys. I have this little toy rat in the background that interjects and is really funny in the video. And she makes jokes and stuff. And I actually had this lady come and I'm an actual scientist.
Oh my god.
She's like, I'm an actual scientist and you didn't cite any of your sources. I said, well, I'm a YouTube content creator, so I don't typically get asked for my sources right off the bat, but I will tell you it's not the size of the alcohol versus the vinegar. It's more the molecular structure for how it penetrates. I did do my homework. I researched this video for a solid month. So like, I mean, my hair is blonde. I'm not dumb, you guys. Like, I'm not just your average, hey, let me make a YouTube video about whatever. I researched this video for a month. So the fact that they came at me, I brought receipts, and I'm going to make a follow-up video, and actual scientists will be called out in the actual video.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Make sure you cite it and tag her.
I will cite, and she spelled cite S-I-T-E. So.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Amanda cannot
And
stand.
tag me so I don't miss it, okay, please.
And Sean, I'm just goofing on you. I literally,
we don't
you
give a
work hard.
flip.
You work
You
multiple
goof
jobs.
around. Hey, you guys are more than welcome. Everybody knows in the co-host, you can pick on me all you want. I don't care. It's all about laughter and having fun. So, but I did see your bag. I did see your one video about your bag coming up in a poly bag, because I was going to ask you about the shipping and stuff, because I get a lot of criticism about, even with plush, wrapping my plush up in some brown heavy duty paper when I put it in a poly bag, because of issues that could arise from the poly bag getting cut, or like you mentioned, that one bag that was just wide open right there in that poly bag.
So rude.
Yeah.
That bag was over $200. It's the most heavily sought after vintage Coach bag currently. It's the Legacy Lee, and for it to arrive like that, I was so disappointed. And then when I opened it, it had holes in the bag. So I sent the seller a message, and they ghosted me. And this is a premier shop. Premier shop, and they totally ghosted me until Whatnot approved the return. But the thing is, I send it back to Whatnot, and I send it to their storage, their warehouse. So I kind of wonder, surely the seller doesn't retain their profits. Maybe they do.
Yeah.
It's a shame if they do. But the thing that really bothered me, and I was speaking to a Whatnot representative to walk me through the return and everything. They had to send me the individual label. I said, where is my ability to review them? He said, it's right there where it always is. And I screenshotted. I said, it says completed. He said, oh, by the time it gets to completed, sorry, the window is closed. I just opened it that day. I just got this package. And so you're telling me that after this return, there's no ability to review them. No wonder they have 4.9 stars.
Yeah.
And any of the negative reviews they had was a lack of call outs, that they weren't taking their time to say, here's a pin mark, here's a this, here's a that. If you've been to any of my Whatnot shows, you will see me call out things on this bag that nobody would call out. And I recently had a lady that said, I bought a bag from you. It had these two major issues. You didn't call this out. And my response to her, which I responded to her, I didn't ghost her. I said, you are 100% correct. I did not call those out because I didn't see it. How can I make this right? I don't care if I had to PayPal her money. I wanted to make it right. And she said, she was so kind. She said, I followed you for so long. I bought several things from you. I do believe that you just didn't see it. I'm going to keep this bag and don't worry about it. Like, there's this thing called grace. And I know you didn't mean it. And I was like, oh, my heart needed a little bit of grace today. But the next thing you purchase from me, I'm going to make it right. And I sent her a wallet. I was starting at $50. I sent it to her in her last package, along with a Coach hang tag and a purse charm, because she still bought other items from me. Yeah, not impressed by the Premier Shop. Premier Shop's hard to get, though.
Super. Is that like 50,000 sales or something, or 50,000 in sales?
is that what you get
In the last 90 days?
90 days. That's a lot.
I feel like that is a lot. Like Josh and Haley tried to get a Premier Shop badge, and they missed it by literally hours, because Whatnot uses a universal standard time that's literally out in the ocean somewhere. And so they're cut off. You think your cutoff is like midnight. With eBay, uses Pacific time. So if you're going to print your label, it needs to be by midnight Pacific time. Whatnot literally uses some universal standard time that I've never even heard of. I don't know why they do that.
That's the dog. Are you okay? Sorry.
I think we all have pets that are misbehaving, wanting attention tonight.
Every time we go on either the screen or Whatnot, our dogs are just like, hey, by the way, you remember us? I've ignored you all day, but today's the day. And now it's now.
That's my kids when I need to make a phone call.
Yes, that too.
Yeah.
The kids of Whatnot. So with children, this is always a question that we pose. How do you manage being a mom, being a wife, being a reseller, being all the things? Tell us about that story.
I am guilty of the stupidest thing anybody can say. So I'm not just digging other people for having said this. I've said it myself. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. That is not true. Okay. I don't need to take advice from anyone that is 19, 20, 24 years old and never had children. I don't need your advice. Actually, we don't have the same day because I have a child that depends on me for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and entertainment. If you are not the sole reason for whether or not your kid's summer is magical, okay, and if you're a mom, you understand that, I don't need your advice on how to manage my day because I have to spend an hour to 2 hours in the pool every day. We have to go to the little museum trips. We have to make a trip up to St. Louis because I think it'll be amazing to see this corpse flower bloom. I don't get paid for that stuff. I get paid in the fact that, again, you're only irreplaceable to your family. It's really hard. There's no two ways about it. Like Coco in the chat, one of the hardest working moms that I know. I have seen her busting her butt on whatnot, busting her butt on all the things that she does to provide for her family. And then she has like 2 kids that she's trying to manage. We're doing it all with the daggum baby on our hip. And still, as women, have to speak twice as loud to get the respect that a man does.
And she's so
You know what I
positive.
mean? Because let me tell you, if a mom is working from home, like I work from home and raising kids, then our income is looked at as a side hobby. Like, oh, that fun thing that your wife does. What does she sell bags online?
Mm-hmm.
If a man sold bags online, it would be that he was an entrepreneur who also raised his kids. Like the business would come first. And I will tell you that while it's awesome for people to be like, oh, you're a social media queen and you've done this and that on social media, I've busted my butt in reselling to the fact that we can remain debt free outside of our mortgage because I worked so hard to literally pay cash for the Bronco that I drive. Any nice thing I have in my life, I've paid cash for from reselling. You know what I mean? I buy groceries every week off of my money from reselling and then make the daggum dinner and then get back to work. Some days I might work until midnight. And my son asked me the other day, because I have like 12 different sources of revenue that I have currently. And I just recently added this art gallery. I'll be selling my art, was accepted into an art gallery. And I have to prepare 8 to 10 paintings for them as part of this gallery opening. He said, Mom, why do you paint at night? You said you didn't get done painting last night until midnight. I said, because I have to paint after you go to bed, buddy. And it suddenly, it's like it clicked in his head. He's like, we don't have to swim as long today. You can go paint. I was like, no. We're going to swim. Like, I want him to know that I'm working really, really hard to try to balance making sure your summer is amazing with making sure you're fed.
Right.
But it's work. It's a lot of work. And I feel like women don't get, it's not like we need an applause, but we don't get the applause that a man would get for doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I feel like when you work from home, there's like really no stopping point. Like when you go to like your 9 to 5, you work your 9 to 5, you go home, and then that's your time at home. But when you work from home, you're working all the time. I feel like it's hard to take that time to balance the family life and stuff outside of.
There's no separation because it's constantly in your face.
Yeah. My break currently is so if I leave here is either to go to the gym or go marathon train. Like that's the break. Is to go lift heavy weights. But it's me time. It's nice. I guess like maintain your sanity and however you need to.
Yeah.
Now you did mention you did have that one goal set up with the Bronco. What's your next goal that you set for yourself?
You know, I've strongly been considering, and my husband and I briefly spoke about it because if you can imagine me brainstorming out loud, I brainstormed out loud with him a few weeks ago about getting our house paid off, like what that would look like, dividing that out. How much do we have left? And so if you divided that over 6 months, if you divided that over 4 weeks, if you divided that over a day, how much would you have to make a day on whatnot? And if you're looking at volume and let's say $5 profits per item, how many items would I have to sell every single day to pay off our house by the end of the year? Like my mind goes to things like that because I will never be the person to say, set an attainable goal because then you won't. No, I'm sorry. For lack of a better way to explain it, screw unattainable goals. I want to shoot so high that I have to bust my butt, that I have to be up until 1 or 2 in the morning because like that pain is what drives me. Knowing that it's not going to happen by mistake. This will not be an accident if I succeed. I'm going to have to work for it. So I feel like it would be really cool to pay off our house because it's the only debt that we have.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So are you going to document it through the process?
Oh yeah, for sure I will be paid for this.
I'm looking forward to seeing that journey. Hopefully, that's something that you guys have on your vision board and will happen for you. I say don't put God in a box ever. Like,
No.
you know what? Don't. There's no such thing as an attainable goal for us as either. We're
Yeah.
always gas pedal.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool as like a video series too. I picked up this literal piece of garbage pink quilted bag the other day, and I think a cool YouTube series would be to flip that into a Chanel boy bag. Like to take this 25-cent bag and flip it into another bag and flip that into another bag until I get a Chanel boy bag, because that's like my ultimate goal bag is a Chanel boy bag.
That's
What does
cool.
something like that go for?
A Chanel boy bag is several thousands.
Okay.
Is it like medium size? Is it like pocket size?
Yeah, it's like this and has a flap, and the differentiator in a boy bag is that it has like a border around it with lines. It has the CC and quilted. They're beautiful bags, but I would never pay retail for one. I would never pay
Right.
retail for most things in my life.
That's what we do when we're at the store. We're like, we'll see you at the bins. We'll see you at the bins, because now that you know what you can find things for and the prices that you pay, it's so hard to go and pay the retail price for that, because you're like, no.
You think it'll take long to actually get to the bins a lot of times, and it doesn't really.
No.
We see stuff that's still in season that was just like 2 days ago. We'll see it at the Goodwill bins. It's like someone's donated this thing already.
Right.
We're like,
Wow.
wow, yeah, that's crazy.
Like
So
it didn't even come out of the package long enough for the child or whoever to enjoy it. We're like, oh, that was quick.
I know.
Wow.
Like during Valentine's Day, they had those bouquets at Walmart with the plushes in it, and they had several plushes. We just found one while we were out the other day sourcing. Like that's just February. It's not
That's
even.
because they broke up.
Oh.
they broke.
I don't need this crap anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a bad example, but I mean,
At least they donated it and they didn't burn
Yeah,
it.
they didn't burn it in a YouTube video.
Yeah,
Yeah, set fire to the bad buys.
right?
that'd be awesome. See that? It's like that paperclip video where they hustle a paperclip to buy a house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they keep on up in their
She
game.
kept
bartering.
trading, Yep.
Yeah, doing the thing. So
I mean, it's possible if you're just making one minor upgrade every time, and obviously it's something I would want to document, because as a content creator, I do, as soon as something good, bad, or indifferent happens in my life, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I immediately think, how can I monetize this? Like, how can I make this content? I'm always thinking about content, and like I had set a cookie like out of a package onto a napkin and put it in my microwave, and it caught on fire. And before I opened the microwave, the phone was on to like document it, because it needed to be content. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Instagram had a bonus program at the time, and I made money off of that reel. Like, I don't know. I think your mind works a little bit different as a content creator. Maybe it will for you guys now as podcasters. You may think, this is something I want to talk about this week on the podcast. Like, it's just constantly playing in the back of my mind. And I don't know if that's just like the creative in me. I'm always thinking, how can I monetize this? How can I make content out of this? I don't clean a bag that I don't record, so that's, someone can learn something from the process.
Well, you're gonna reach somebody no matter what you're doing, right? So
Yeah.
Someone's gonna find value in it. May not be everybody, but somebody will.
Right. True.
Yeah, I think that's the thing too, is like value. What everybody's value is different, which is something why flipping a purse like that could work, because my value of that is different than Amanda's value, which is different than yours. So I think content like that is value added for most people in finding your people or your tribe or whoever's out there. And that speaks to volumes to Whatnot as well.
Mm-hmm.
You will find your tribe. You will find your people. Just keep at it. Don't give up. Words of encouragement for people on Whatnot that are just starting. Do you have anything that you would like to say to that for those people that are struggling?
For sure. Don't, like, your very first show, your goal needs to be to sell one thing, because you're going to get so much education off of selling one thing. Because think about it, you sold one thing, you now know what happens when you sell an item, that the buyer's name shows up, that, hey, congrats on your first purchase. then you're going to get the education of shipping on whatnot. And I would rather have sold one thing in my first show and have the education small time than if you sell 784 things. That's a lot all at
That's
once.
overwhelming for sure.
Yes. So make it your goal to sell one thing, and then you're going to have the education of from the start of the show to the end of the drop off of the shipping exactly what to do. And now you're not scared about the show, the fact that it's a live show. You're not afraid to talk to an empty room anymore. You've got so much out of the way. So when people jump on Whatnot and they think, I'm going to sell 20 items, like, no, you're not. Get over yourself. Get over the fear. I would be afraid if I had never done any type of live show and I thought that was the expectation. That would scare the crap out of me. So say that you're going to sell one thing. I think that's probably the best advice for someone just starting Whatnot. Make it your goal to sell one thing this week. If you have to have 5 shows to sell that one thing, you will sell one thing.
Yep.
And keep your buy costs low for Whatnot, because people do want a bargain. They do want a discount.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people want to just get on Whatnot and jump in trains. It's like, figure out what you're doing first before you want to jump in all these trains to grow yourself. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's 2 different paths to growth. One is growing as a Whatnot reseller, knowing what you're doing, selling, and then there's growth in regards to your channel, right, in your following. So there's a lot of growth potential, and growth is painful, right? So and that's with anything when you think about it in life, like your marathon training, how painful is that in the moment? But at the end, when you're crossing that finish line, I can only imagine. I can only imagine what that looks like, and I think you're a little bit crazy for running this heat.
I mean, I will attest to the fact that my husband and I run ultra marathons, and there's you have to be a little bit crazy to do that. You have to enjoy the pain to some degree, because it's not if you're going to hurt. Like, we're both 100-mile finishers. You don't get you think 100 miles and you just think about that, but think 63 came, 64, 65, like 78 came. Drew ran his 100 miles. It was 114-degree heat. Like, I think that does something more to you mentally than it does physically, and it prepares you so much for adversity in your life. Like, I know not everyone wants to run ultra marathons, but find some way to put yourself in a place of discomfort. I don't care if tomorrow your place of discomfort is the fact that when you take the shower, you know, when you open the door and it's cold and you have to step out and it's uncomfortable, do it really, really fast. Okay. If that is the only bit of discomfort you feel in a day, because we spend too much of our lives being comfortable, and that is not where growth happens. You're never going to grow being comfortable, you know?
Yep. I think too many people live in fear of just taking that next step, like they're going to fail, but you won't know unless you try. So,
right.
Yeah.
You have to fail multiple times. Look at Thomas Edison. How many times did it take him to make a light bulb, right? You've heard that a million times, I'm sure. But yeah, that's the mentality behind everything that we do. So failing fast and failing forward. You know, companies like Netflix have done that. That's their mantra, you know. So if you ever go into Netflix and there's always an update, you're like, come on, really, Netflix? Again, we're going to update? But they're always changing, right? Iterating. Yeah. And it's the same for us, I think. So
Levi talking about the ice baths. I tried ice bath once, and there's something wrong with my ankles. So I ordered some neoprene socks, and I still never got back in. But I need to get back at it. It was hard.
Yeah.
I've never done ice bath in my life.
Well, the trainer
I'm calling you out, Ryan.
I was trying to rehab a snowboarding injury, actually. I'm not a snowboarder, but we went snowboarding. And on my last time down this little funny slope of, if you could call it a hill, I hit my knee and I jammed my hip into the socket. Okay. And I was 100-mile training at the time. I couldn't run. It was so painful to run. So the trainer was like, take an ice bath. He said his advice was go get like 2 bags of ice, put it in your bathtub, just enough water, and play the song Ice Ice Baby is the right amount of time. And I was like, that's sick. Like, that is, I don't know. That seems like something even I couldn't do. But the other day when my friend and I were running, we were running up this hill, and I was like, this is so hard. Why are we smiling? Because you can't help but like smile and just enjoy the fact that I have legs that can carry me up this hill. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like we were so slow, but we weren't dead. We weren't dying. We were trying, you know?
As long as you made it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before. It's the have to do or versus the get to do. You know,
Yeah.
that's the mentality of being grateful and having gratitude. And it goes a long way with a lot of things. Like as soon as I roll out of bed in the morning, when I put my feet on the ground, first of all, I'm glad that I have feet because I'm a diabetic. And secondly, you know, so I keep on going down to things that I'm grateful for, from the most simple and basic thing to all the things. So I think that's helpful.
100%. Yeah. And like as women, I don't know if the other three women here can attest to the same, but we're taught from a very young age, I would say 9 or 10, to hate your body. And every woman in the chat right now, look at me, wear the shorts. Okay. Be happy you have legs, wear the shorts, like wear the swimsuit to the pool with your kids. Be happy that you have this body. I cannot hate my body because it gets me through so much. It's never stopped. During a 100-mile race, it didn't stop. I refuse. I'm sorry. I'm not going to feed into what social media wants me to think, that I should hate my body. I'm with you, Bob, that like, thank God you have feet. Thank God I have this body. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gratitude is so important. Can't say that.
Need to be more grateful.
It's hard to be in a bad mood when you're grateful. I'm just going to throw that out there. I struggle with it every day, honestly,
I do too.
ideally.
I
Right?
think we all do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
once
you're
you
right
get
though.
those-
Like, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It's fine. Go ahead.
You're right, Bob. Like, it's hard if you find yourself in a bad mood, whether that is whatever the bad mood is, if it's anger, if it's unfaithfulness, if it's fear, start naming off things you're grateful for. Because like you said, it's hard to be grateful and mad at the same time.
Well, because I was gonna say is you get stuck in a rabbit hole and you just spiral down, and then everything is like shit. It's not.
Everything's a problem, right?
Everything's a problem.
Yeah.
When it's I like to say too, when it's everything, it's likely you.
Yeah.
So
That's so good.
so when you feel like that and like everything's just getting you to a place where you're just, you know, you're about to explode, just remember, you know, it's probably likely you, and you just kind of reframe
You gotta
your
remove
thinking.
yourself and really look at the
Yeah.
whole situation, because
Yeah.
everybody can't have a problem with you. It's probably you. Or if
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
has
Come on,
the same
Amanda.
thing.
Hey, Amanda.
Dose of thrift in the house.
A dose.
The dose of thrift. Hello, Amanda. All the Amandas.
It's a great name.
So
Now, Rachel, have you ever been pulled over by the cops? Just curious.
Yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah, just curious. We're trying to keep tabs of how many of our guests are keeping up with Amanda on a segment.
I have, and I actually kind of share Amanda's story a little bit. I accidentally drove onto Scott Air Force Base.
Thank you,
Trying-
Jesus.
Trying to get to an airport. There's this tiny little airport. My sister is a flight attendant for Allegiant, and there's an Allegiant airport in Belleville, Illinois, but Scott Air Force Base is also down that same cornfield. Okay.
The
And I was
GPS
trying to
for
get
you
my
there.
yes, and I was trying to get I was totally relating to your story when you were sharing. I was like, yeah, but mine wasn't quite as bad. I didn't get detained or anything, but yeah, I've been pulled over. I had a really cool car in high school. I actually still have it. I recently let my son start partying it out, and it was a profile vehicle. It was a 98 Eclipse with like Matrix exhaust, a Z3 wing. It had the same logo on the side from the Fast and Furious, the Eclipse that's on there, and like carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber side views. Like the car was so hot, and it wasn't fast. It was just a little 4-cylinder, but I got pulled over so much in that car because it sounded fast. It was loud, and I had 2 Sony Explode 12s in the back, and it's a hatchback, so the boom, 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 you know. Anyway, I've been pulled over.
All right, just curious. We're keeping a running tally here. At least I am.
It doesn't happen here. It just happens when I'm out of town.
I'll say it's just out of town.
So did Levi? Did he say he's been pulled over? I missed that part.
No,
I don't think
just
so.
No.
Amanda.
No,
Just
he said that because I just left Ryan and Christine. I was there for a few days.
Oh, you got pulled over there too? I
Yes.
thought maybe you were just
Oh,
talking about the detainment.
Yeah, this is
Oh,
part
yeah,
two.
last week.
Yeah, last week. So I left their house at like just before 6 a.m. and I had to get to the airport. My flight was at 7:30. I turned the car on, my lights went on, so I didn't think anything of anything else. And I said to Christine, I was putting my suitcase in the back. I shouldn't have said anything. I was like, I should probably put my wallet up front with me in case I get pulled over.
And she did.
I went down you go down the street a little bit and there's this weird curve to get onto the interstate, and I was talking shit about it all week. I'm like, look at those idiots just sitting there. Why don't they just go further down? But anyways, I get on the highway and all of a sudden there's like bright lights in my back. And I'm like, why the fuck are they high beaming me? Go around, go around, go around. So I almost went into the faster lane because I was in the slow lane. Then all of a sudden there's red and blue lights. And I was like, son of a bitch. Like, are you kidding me? Yep. I got pulled over.
What were you doing wrong?
My taillights weren't on.
Well,
I
maybe it's
had
a
no
blessing that they pulled you over. Why don't you learn how to drive? Just kidding.
He was like, do you know I pulled you over? And I'm like, no. He's like, you have taillights. I'm like, my first thing was, it's a rental. So, because I didn't even think about the knob. I had no idea because I assumed the headlights are on. I wasn't thinking about the tail lights or the brake lights or anything.
Yeah.
Because all the driving we did all week was during the day. So it's not like.
That makes sense.
We didn't drive at night.
So he's like, can you find the button? I was like, no. He asked me like 2 or 3 times, is the car in park? And I said, yes. So he came over to the other side. He's like, it's right here. And he turned the knob. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. He's like, it's okay. He's like, have a good day. And I'm like, Jesus.
That's nice that he just like gave you a warning and everything.
Yeah,
I feel really bad now because what's about to happen, as many shorts as you guys put out, that's going to be a short. And people that have never seen my stuff are going to be like,
it is
so mean.
Well, I will tell you what, I've learned my lesson about the GPS and I've learned my lesson about the lights. I will make sure that all my everything is good before I go anywhere because obviously God's like, hey girl, pay attention.
The last rental vehicle we had was in Orlando and it was a Nissan Rogue. My sister drives one of those and I never realized like you have to push a button to put it in park. It's so weird. And I'm just like, if vehicles are that far out of just a regular shifter, they should tell you before you leave the rental parking lot.
Yeah.
We're like, how do we park this thing once we got to parking?
Yeah. So the one I got this time is a turn dial, which I've had before. And I was like, Ryan, you drive because I don't know where we're going. He was like, he like kept trying to shift. He's like, what is this? I'm like, just how it is.
So weird. Yeah, Drew's right. I think with that same Nissan Rogue, we didn't have the headlights on. I'm like,
yeah. So we're not going. We're going to Tennessee in September. So
where in Tennessee?
We're going to the East Tennessee meetup. Who's putting it on?
Like for 127?
The reseller locker room podcast. The guys that do that.
Did that last year. Maybe we'll be able to. Is it in not Cookeville? Is it in Crossville?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
That's only like half an hour from where my husband grew up in Cookeville. So I would love to go to that this year. I need details on it though.
Yeah.
September 25th through the 27th. Don't hold me to that, but I'm pretty sure.
That's right after my birthday.
So it's right in that time frame, like the end of September. Should be a good time. Apex Chef will be there. I know for sure. He's already confirmed.
Rebel the reseller.
Rebel the reseller will be there. Rebel and Robert from that channel. Yeah, there's a few, and also the guys from the reseller locker room podcast. Obviously,
I think I was the first girl they let into the locker room.
Oh wow, that is impressive. That's impressive. Those guys are wild. I love their channel. If they're watching this,
our episode was probably really tame. They're probably like, let's censor everything. Rachel Strickland's coming.
Yeah, those guys are great. It should be a good time.
I'm hoping not to get pulled over.
Yeah, I hope not. That's a pretty area though. Have you guys been there?
Not yet. We haven't been to that yet. We went to obviously Nashville, but we met Rebel and her husband at this previous Nashville meetup, and then that's how I think we got involved with this one, right? Because I think they're doing
like night and day difference though.
Yeah.
Because like Crossville in East Tennessee is so pretty. And Nashville, they just call it like Nash Vegas now because it's like a miniature Vegas. It's not country at all. If anyone tells you they're country and they're from Nashville, maybe if they're in the suburbs, like
yeah, it's definitely
not super country.
I'm looking forward to the lower key type of vibe that I think that meetup will bring a bit more of that. So that's what I'm looking forward to, getting to know people more. So yeah, we got that coming up. So if you guys can make it, that'd be great. So Missouri, I don't know how long of a drive that is, but
so it's about 5 hours for us to get to Cookeville. So like 6 probably to Crossville.
That's about how long it is from us for North Alabama. there is about
'Cause it's
5.5
so-
hours.
It's so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tennessee is a very long state. It's not that bad. When my husband and I met on Facebook, we thought we were further apart than what we were, and then we figured it out. And we would meet halfway, like equidistant for each of us in Kentucky for a long time, and then eventually he would come over, or I would go over every weekend for like 18 months. And then we got engaged. So we actually wrote on our wedding invitations how many miles we had traveled in that 18 months. It was like 30,000 miles to date.
Wow.
Wow.
Drew, the home of the hillbillies.
Yeah, it's very Appalachian.
Yeah, that's the part I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Probably pretty similar to here, I would say.
Probably pretty similar.
They built a huge Buc-ee's there recently.
In Virginia.
They just
Yeah,
built
it's
one
about,
in
what, an
Virginia.
hour
Actually,
and
my
a half?
daughter just drove 2 hours today to go check the one out that they just opened because they
It's an
wanted to go to.
experience. Buc-ee's
I've
is
only
an
been to West
experience.
Virginia one time, and it was at the Greenbrier. So I don't think that that's a very good representation of the whole state. It was kind of bougie. But I was very surprised when I was at the Greenbrier to see them have a sign in the hall that said, "Shh, it's sleepy time down south, y'all." And I was like, who in West Virginia thinks that they're in the South? And it blew my mind.
Mhm.
First of all, that you guys consider yourself Southern. And second of all, that you are actually south of the Mason-Dixon. I
Yeah.
was like, did they just draw that line just to include West Virginia? Because I could not fathom it. But you guys talk like pretty Southern.
Pretty southern, yeah. Certain parts of it, you get some weird things out of our state.
Yeah.
We were having ice cream probably a couple of years ago. Next thing you know, we hear this. Can I get 2 scoops, Uncle Daddy? So we live up to the stereotype out here.
Cool.
And Arkansas is the one that gets the stereotype.
Yep.
That's not even fair. They need to point them far up north to you guys.
Yeah.
That's when you
We just looked
question-
at each other like, did we just hear what we just heard? Can I get 2 scoops, Uncle Daddy? And we're like, oh, we got to move out of this state.
That's when your family trees a totem pole because it goes straight up. It doesn't go out.
It was one little twig.
I mean, I will say,
That's
I
funny.
think our area has grown a lot, like within the last, like maybe 3 to 4
Yeah.
years. So we're not as we're still pretty country, and
They've just taken
but
all of
it's-
our farmland out and
Yes.
they've built up. They've extended Virginia out to here to where now it's
pretty sad actually.
it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
taking
we're
away all
still
of our
pretty
freedom.
rural here. Like north of here, you can see some solar farming coming in and stuff, but the people in our community are trying their best to keep that out. We probably won't stay here forever, obviously. We have ambitions to move other places, Alabama maybe. But it will be to a town of less than 10,000 people. I love to visit a city, but I love to come home. When I
Yeah.
get in my pool, I'm surrounded by trees. You can't hear anything out here but cicadas.
I
will
grew up
say
on
where
a
we
500
are-
acre farm. So when I go home, it's complete quiet. There's no neighbors. There's no nothing. It's just, to me, it's heaven.
Yep. Peace.
Yeah.
Well, where we are, we live in a subdivision, but we're like outside the city limits. So we have the best of both. I mean, it does take 20 minutes or wherever to get some places, but we're only an hour and a half from Nashville, if that. So we
Oh,
still can
nice.
go, and then Huntsville is only like 30 minutes away. So we can get all the amenities there, come home and be like chill, quiet. And like I said, that's why we source in Tennessee. So it's not so bad. So
Wow.
you should move to Alabama. We got pretty good shit here.
I feel like wherever we move, y'all needs to be a part of the vernacular, not in
Oh,
a
for sure.
sarcastic way. Like if people there don't say y'all, we don't belong here.
Or
Because-
bless it.
Or
or
if they're
what?
not blessing your heart,
Bless it.
if they're not blessing your heart, no, thank you.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. Like those of you who have heard my husband's voice, can you imagine that deep Southern twang anywhere in North?
Well, that's how we feel when we first moved here because we stick out like a sore thumb because we're originally from Connecticut. So people are like, but moving here, Huntsville is a huge transplant state because of the arsenal, because of all the military that come in and out of there. So
Rocket City.
if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Yeah.
That was the great.
Anyway, so yeah, a lot going on here in Huntsville. It's grown tremendously, which is not a good thing for those of us who like the country. But we're lucky enough to live where there's piggies just around the corner. Amanda can enjoy her friends. She loves all the animals. So
Yeah.
the cotton is beautiful. Alabama snow.
Corn.
If you know, you know.
Chrissy, we hear ambulance almost every day. So
Yep.
it's not good.
Yeah, I remember those days growing up in some pretty rough areas. So
And it's beginning to be like that here too. Yeah.
that's too bad. I highly recommend you getting out into the country and enjoying your life. You got one life to live, so
Yes.
You want to open up questions?
yeah, let's open up questions.
You want to see if the chat has any questions for Rachel?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
We got about 30 minutes left, so if we want to.
Or is there anything that you didn't cover that you want to cover before we do that?
What do you got going on right now? Like, where can people find you? What do you have going on? What's next for you before we get into questions? Go ahead.
I would love it if you guys would find me on my YouTube channel. All my socials are Rachel Strickland. I tried to keep it simple for everybody. Same profile picture, which I might need to retake because I darkened my hair. Anyway, so if you guys would find me on YouTube as Rachel Strickland, it would mean the world.
Okay, I will. I know that was directed at me. I will. All right. I will. Fine.
If you would not only subscribe but watch a video or two. Listen, there's an NF song where, do you guys like NF? Cricket. Okay, there's an NF song where he says, I'm gonna tag Sean in it on Instagram where he says, you don't have to know my songs or all my music, but at least try to find out who you're in the room with. He's talking about,
That's awesome.
I'll tag you in it later. I'll try to find
I guess we're not having Rachel back for a follow-up, right? Is that
I love it.
because he's talking about how in the interviews people don't even know who they're interviewing.
Right?
Yeah.
But no, if you guys can find me there, that'd be amazing. So every other week on Whatnot, I sell designer bags and like mid-tier designer. I will eventually start selling like Louis Vuitton and Gucci, but that's not now. And then once a month right now, I do purse charms. And I might have, hang on, I'll show you the cool type of purse charms I do.
She got a chicken wing one that's dope.
I don't know.
So,
if he asked me.
like this chicken leg.
Yeah, the chicken wing.
Oh, wow.
Love it.
It's kind of funny. Let me see if I can. There you go. My chicken leg and my French fry.
I love it.
Life is not as serious as you need to make it out to be. So hang a French fry on the side of your Louis Vuitton. And if you guys make me keep all these chicken legs, it's sick of you because I'm a vegetarian and
Wow.
I'm not selling as many of these as I thought I would. So like, what is your problem? I have chicken nuggets also. So like once a month I do purse charms over there. We just have a good
Real
time.
chicken.
Yeah.
If I can talk to people about fashion and purses and fun things like that and try to grow a community over there, then it's a win, right?
What days and times do you usually go on Whatnot?
So my purse shows are every other Friday at 7:00 Central. And then the charm shows, this is going to be my second one in August because they're monthly. And I think I set them up for like the first Tuesday of the month or something. It's kind of random, but I have a few up already to bookmark. I'm Rachel Strickland over on Whatnot too.
Do you make those or is those something that you source?
I sourced them. Yeah, but I have been working really heavy on art. So I'll probably put out a YouTube video. I don't want to show a lot of my art right now because the gallery opens September 6th, but I know I'll have a video about it because I love art. I'm a creative person. So I've been working on these paintings pretty much every night. I sold a couple of paintings once from to a YouTube viewer, but I think art is really important. There's a lot of things that come and go as far as commodities, but art is really special and it's everywhere. It's in the eye of the beholder for sure. So when this gallery accepted my artwork, I brought her several things that I painted and she loved it. And my art is not for everyone. It's weird, like chicken legs and French fries. Okay. So
Weird sells.
yeah.
I mean,
So
people like
I'll
eccentric,
showcase that.
different.
And I kind of blend reselling and artwork together because a lot of my artwork is found paintings. I use that canvas and I add things into the paintings. So like I might add a Star Wars ship and blow up part of the picture frame and like have an X-Wing and TIE fighters are like flying after the X-Wing and there's lasers. And that is in like a country scene that I found at a thrift store. So maybe you guys will like that type of
That's
stuff.
cool.
That's cool.
So you find paintings and you change it, modify it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of them
love
are
it.
like that. Yeah.
That's
I
pretty
like
And
cool.
then-
that.
I love
I've seen that where people buy them and they like put a ghost, like a haunted ghost,
Yeah, I
along
like
the fence,
the-
like, and it's a person. That's really cool.
Mhm.
So hopefully you guys like that type of stuff whenever I showcase it. It'll be on the YouTube channel within the next couple months. Like I say, I kind of hate to showcase the pieces prior to the gallery opening because the gallery owner's really excited about the opening. I'll probably film that too, just because I've never had anyone pay that kind of attention to it.
No, that's
Go
actually pretty awesome. Yeah.
There's a question in the chat.
There's another
Oh
one.
wait,
That's
yeah.
one, and then there's another one. Keep going.
Oh, there you go.
That's one.
There's the first one from Chrissy. Collins on the
So-
move.
When I met with the gallery owner, she asked for 8 to 10 pieces. So that's a lot for, painting. So that's why I've been working so feverishly. I painted a lot of bugs also.
Who's
Keeps
finding them?
finding these things.
Sorry.
That's the other one.
There's the other question from
Whatever. Yeah, when you get to it.
when
yeah.
you get to it.
So I have 2 races that are kind of in the back of my head right now. One I need to just sign up for. And when I do, I'm going to be calling on all you guys to make a donation because it's a fundraiser race. It's the St. Jude Memphis Marathon. I have ran it twice before, but my friend this year, she wants to run it. She wants me to run it with her. So we will likely be running that. It's like December 6th in Memphis. It's their largest fundraiser. They raise like $50 million in connection with this marathon. And you get to run at mile 8, you run through the hospital grounds. It's incredibly emotional. And you need to learn to cry and run at the same time because those kids who are fighting and battling cancer are standing out there with posters telling you that you're doing a good job. I'm like,
They're
that's
fighting the
the
biggest
most
battle of their
humbling
life.
thing. I'm doing nothing.
Right.
So I love the Memphis St. Jude Marathon. I will run it in December. And then I turned 40 in September, and I thought it would be really cool if I run my fastest half marathon before I turn 40. If I try to get a sub 2, my fastest ever is 2:04, and I felt like I was flying. I just don't know if I want to do the speed work, if I want to dedicate to that. We'll see whether or not that one happens.
The Flash. I love it. There's another question from Amanda. Where do you find your inventory?
Largely thrift stores, a few yard sales. You cannot thrift or you cannot source solely yard sales in my area. The yard selling apps don't even work here. You might see a sign that says yard sale and point you down a road once every month. There are not a whole lot around here. And then sometimes I will find an estate sale. But recently, and I should probably make a video about this, my friend who lives in the St. Louis area has started sourcing bags for me. And so you guys talked about this in your last podcast about whether or not you would take on someone's inventory and whatnot if they sourced it, but they didn't have the audience. And I was like, oh, I can talk about this. So I'm kind of glad this question came up. So my friend, they resell, but she doesn't list to the extent really she should. But she has such she can pick up quality from a mile away, and she has such access to purses. And so I proposed the last time we were up there that I start taking her inventory back, and the time that it takes her to find and the cost to buy the purse will equal out the time it takes me to sell and the material it takes me to ship. And we'll just split the profits 50-50 on the purses that she sourced, which is a huge split. I don't necessarily suggest that with everybody, but she's one of my best and dearest friends, and she's bringing me really good stuff. I never honestly saw myself in a sourcing relationship with anybody, but here we are because she has such good stuff. Like she just found a Coach Beekman briefcase that they're currently filming The Devil Wears Prada 2, and Anne Hathaway has that bag on in one of the scenes that is going viral right now.
Oh, very
So
nice.
Wow.
I said, we have to clean that bag. So I'm going to clean it for a video. I'm going to make money off of that. And then keep that until the movie comes out. Because as soon as that movie drops, everyone's going to want that bag. And they don't make it anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Supply and demand. You have it when they want it.
Yeah. So I'm going to go up at least once a month and get inventory from her. And she is really going to cushion a lot of my whatnot inventory. Since she lives where the bins is, and has access to a thrift store. And we also asked the thrift store if they would start setting bags back for us in exchange for a tithe directly to their Christian store.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they're getting a tithe back. We got a tithe somewhere, and they're keeping the purses for us to look at first.
That's awesome.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I like that. If you don't ask, you don't know.
Yeah, if you don't
Right.
ask, got to put it out there sometimes. I know it's scary to ask everybody, but make sure you're asking.
You just never know.
You
Someone
really
could say
don't.
yes. No's
Yep.
lead to yeses eventually.
Look at 60's last the podcast we did with 60. He asked about the pallets, right, for the purses, and they were like, "I'll sell them to you," and he made quite a bit of money doing that. So
Yeah, there's
never know.
a book called Rejection Proof. If anyone's taking notes, write down the book Rejection Proof. You can listen to it as an audiobook. I think it's even available for free on YouTube. Probably shouldn't be. It's probably piracy. But anyway, that is about exactly what Amanda was just talking about. You don't know unless you ask. So every day this guy sets out in order to get a no. He's going to ask whatever stupid question it takes for someone to tell him no, including like walking into Dunkin' Donuts and asking if he could get 5 donuts made into the Olympic rings. He just needed them to say no, but nobody tells this guy no. So many doors open up to him. He's able to do crazy things. The book starts with him knocking on this guy's door and saying, "Can I take a picture in your backyard of me playing soccer?" And before you know it, he's in this guy's backyard with him.
Wow.
And the book is amazing because it just teaches you the power of not being afraid of rejection. So what if they say no? Because his actual goal was to get people to say no. And it really, it strengthens you. When I was reading that book, I was telling my oldest son about it. He was probably 12 at the time. We walked into the bank and he said, "Can I get a tour of the vault?" And I was just so surprised that he was like, he asked that and they told him no. But I was so thrilled that he had the power to ask that he wasn't afraid of them telling him no.
Yeah.
I always try to get something for nothing. I don't have any shame because Christine seen me do it too, and I'm just like, well, the worst that's gonna happen is I'm gonna be no worse off than I was before I asked. So you just, the worst they're gonna say is no, and you're like, okay, well, I'll pay it anyways. But if you don't ask, you could pay half, or
Amanda's made so many relationships like that just by talking people up, chatting. You know,
I mean, the two of them walk away from me all the time, and they're like,
we leave her.
Like embarrassed.
I'm introverted, believe it or not, and I think Christine and I have a heart for that.
Yeah.
And I think Mel probably does too. So we're very similar in that way.
Very quiet.
Kind of funny, our partners are the opposite of that.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
That's what makes it work, though. You know,
Yeah.
like they can't take your birthday away if you ask and they don't like your question. They can't take your birthday. Like nothing bad's gonna happen.
I just ask because you just never something really silly. So when I was visiting them, we went out shopping and I found something and I was like, "Ooh, there has a slice." It was a Little People set and there's a cut right in the top. I'm like, it was already clearance. I'm like, will you take more off because now the value has gone down even more? She's like, I'll take $1 off. I'm like, well, it's another $1 that paid for the tax. Thanks.
Yeah.
I didn't have.
I mean, it's just. I mean, it doesn't always, not always that little, but you never know. So
That's like we touched with 60 last week. We told everybody about free shipping materials and stuff. If you don't know, go ask to get all their free paper, or they may not want to recycle it. You save them money. They'll give you all their recyclables for you, boxes, paper, everything. So
the local hospital allows me to take their boxes.
Yeah. All you got to do is ask. If they say no, you walk out and you go to another place that you're in. Just talk up a conversation. You never know. Hey, come pick up all this stuff. So,
and you may be saving somebody a recycling fee or a processing fee because working at Target, we had bales. We made bales of cardboard, and you can only store them for so long because you can get written up, whatever the case may be. So, you actually may be benefiting somebody, and you're getting something in return that you wouldn't necessarily have if you didn't say anything. So
I feel that way with sponsorships too. Like most of the sponsors that I have on YouTube have approached me, but ever so often, like I'll just get crazy enough that I want to ask people, will you sponsor this, and that? What are they going to do? Say no? Or you might get a sponsorship out of it. They might send you something,
My motto is sometimes swing big. You never know. They're going to say no, but swing big.
Yeah.
For sure.
a lot of other businesses remember being small and they remember where they came from.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of times there's a little bit of that as well, depending on your approach and how you ask. It's not what you say, it's how you say it, right?
Right.
So it's important to keep that in mind when you're out there approaching this as well. So just be humble in all things.
Right.
Remember to do that and be kind. And I think it'll work out in the end. It's great advice. So any other questions? We're just about getting ready to wrap up. We got about 15 minutes left. Keep those questions coming. Rachel is a wealth of information. Now's your chance.
Get me while I talk too much, guys. That's what
I
people
love
always
it.
say on my YouTube channel. They're like, you talk too fast. There's a setting for that. You can slow me down. I can't stand to click on a YouTube video and they're talking so slow. I don't have time for that. So I talk really fast in my videos and I get a lot of comments about that. Not everybody loves it.
One more question.
In addition to working out, because that takes up a lot of my free time. I lift like 5 days a week and run as often as I can. I guess if I'm in a marathon train, I'm gonna be running at least 4 days a week. What do I like to do for fun? Hanging out with my family for sure. Painting, which it's still for fun, even though it's going to be for profit. I love to draw. I love to cook. That's never felt like much of a chore for me. Sometimes it feels like a chore if I have to stop what I'm doing, like I'm working and I know my family needs to eat. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, it's burgers or something not fun. But I love to cook and make up recipes. Like, oh, we're gonna have curry tonight. I don't have anything to make curry, but we're gonna figure it out and I'm gonna add in all these spices. That's fun to me.
Drew has a serious question when you get a chance.
Everyone here would like to donate to pay off our house. There, yes, that is such a big swing. You guys
Go fund me.
Yep.
Go fund me.
Go
It can
fund me.
happen.
I guess I gotta start a GoFundMe page for Drew. So,
Get it, Drew. We believe in you.
Yeah. Christy even said I watch lots of people on 1.25, but not Rachel. I don't know. I value your time. If you clicked on one of my videos, if it's a 10-minute video, you're getting 20 minutes worth of information. Okay. If it's a 20-minute video, because most of them are at least that long, you're getting a lot. And I do deep dives over on my channel. I'm not, like I say, I don't take you thrifting with me. It's rare if there's a shop with me. Like I did some shop with me for the 100-mile yard sale, but it was more or less because it was a fun time with my oldest son. And we were just cutting up the whole time. Like I'd hang out with him every day if I could.
That's a testament.
I know what Rachel, I wanted you to tell them about the coloring book.
Oh,
How that came about.
Yeah. So speaking of people saying like, you talk too fast, not everybody, listen, you could be the ripest, juiciest peach and not everybody likes peaches, right? That's the same.
Right.
So it doesn't matter how I could rescue a burning orphanage and get all the orphans out and someone's going to have something negative to say. You are not going to be everyone's favorite person. You are not for everyone. And that is okay. You better learn to figure that out now. I've been telling my youngest that since he's like 5. Not everyone's going to like you. So not everybody likes me, believe it or not, y'all. Not everyone on YouTube likes me. I don't get a whole lot of hateful comments, but when they do come about, I got to shine a light. And I usually try to inject some humor into that. And a lot of times hateful comments, I decided to start responding to them with Disney song lyrics. So like one guy's like, why are you buying up everything out of the thrift store? You're a greedy da 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 da. And my response would be, I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's it's and what's it's galore. You want thingamabobs? I got 20. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when it's not with set to music, you don't immediately recognize that it's Disney song lyrics. And I've had people argue back with like Ursula. And it's hilarious to me because I'm just like, let it go. You know, who cares? Yeah. And so I just think it's honestly the internet equivalent of, I don't care. I got things to do. All right. Because I know whose I am. You're not going to come in and tell me anything I don't know about myself because the word tells me who I am, right? Yeah. So I had these people that sometimes would come in with repetitive, the same comments. And I was like, how can I turn this into something positive? A lot of people get a lot of stress relief from coloring, especially adult coloring. So I took repetitive comments like, you'll never sell that. You don't actually sell the stuff that you pick up. You're never going to make any real money. You're just a girl reseller, so all you sell is clothes. I took those type of comments and I made a coloring book. And the coloring book is named after one of the most hateful comments I've ever gotten. And I've asked Ryan if he still has it because I think he was one of the first people that I messaged as soon as I got this comment. I sold some crayons, and I posted a short video about it. And I got a comment from a girl who called me everything she could under the sun. I would have left the comment up, but I can't have the F word on my page. She was very abusive in her language. And she said, I'm sorry the education system failed you. I'm sorry your parents failed you. What's wrong with the economy? You're a dirty trash goblin. And I was like, trash goblin?
She obviously feels really good about herself.
That sounds like a good name for a coloring book. So the coloring book is called Trash Goblin. And I created this beautiful character. She's like a monster and she's sitting amongst all this garbage. And that's me if I was a trash goblin. And it is the way to literally, if when life gives you lemons, make it a lemonade stand, because you can get your t-shirt that says Trash Goblin too. And it's in full color and it's beautiful. And that's my merch now. Like, I don't care. You're never going to throw. I just told you guys that I want to hurt myself during 100 miles. You think you're going to say something to me that's going to hurt? You're going to say something to me that's going to keep me down? I literally, for fun, go to the gym and lift things I can't lift until my legs hurt. What are you going to say to me that's going to hurt me?
Half the people only want that response from you to get feeling good about themselves.
I've had people in the deepest relationships I have in my life walk away from me and act like they don't know me anymore. A stranger on the internet is not going to confuse me about who I am.
Right.
But I will make a coloring book out of it.
And
you know what I mean?
It is awesome. The coloring book is awesome.
So the coloring book is really funny. Like, one of the things in there was your parents failed you, and it's me like this, like clapping, and my parents are celebrating me around, because the picture is kind of the opposite of what they say. On the one that's "you'll never make any money reselling" is the caption, and then it's this girl smiling in front of a Bronco, because when I tell you guys I walked into the dealership and paid cash for my Bronco, like, I don't have a payment on it. And that was from reselling. That was from staying up until 2 a.m. listing 50 items a day. Like, social media is great, but I busted my butt reselling. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's possible. So yeah, the coloring book is fun.
Yes.
The Disney comments are fun. The t-shirts, like, you're never going to confuse me about who I am.
Yeah.
Love it. There's a question for Mr. Drew Strickland. How would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused.
They're sharp.
Wait, it's focused. I no more think of myself than a fly.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Oh, thanks, Four Seasons. I appreciate that. No, I think there are more female resellers than there are female reseller content creators. The majority of my audience is female, but it's the guys that show up and make the YouTube channels. It's the guys that are making the Instagram content. And there's this whole genre of resellers not being represented. Or if we are being represented, we're being represented as the homemaker who also resells.
Yeah, the misrepresentation of what's really
Yes.
going on. The narrative is very false. Yes.
I'm telling you, I bust my butt. I am CEO of Rachel Strickland, okay? And we're only going up from here.
We're always joking about I'm the CFO, she's the CEO. So I bring the spreadsheet and the report, and she's like, no, this is what we're doing. So that's how that works.
We have the same trajectory, just different ways of getting there.
Yeah.
Getting there. Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
my husband is self-employed too. Like, he wrote in the chat earlier about being an electrician. So I don't know. I feel like my kids have no option but to absorb some type of motivation from us just busting our butts and making it happen. Because, like, when my oldest son was little, when I tell you I thrifted, out of necessity, I remember going and applying for food stamps. When I was a kid, we were on food stamps. I was that kid that smelled of cigarette smoke every time that I came in. We didn't go on vacations. Like, we lived with my grandma because we didn't have, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't do without anything that we needed as kids, but we didn't have extra. I know what it's like to be poor. I know what it's like to go ask. And when as an adult, walking in and saying, I literally can't buy food for my family, and they told me no. And I thought, you know what? No one is coming. That Mel Robbins quote, no one is coming. You better figure it out. You better pull yourself up and make this work, because you get one opportunity to make this work. And I've tasted what it's like to be poor, and it sucks. And I'm not ever going back there again. Whatever it takes. I don't care if I don't sleep at night, if I have to list on eBay, if I need to have Whatnot shows every day, if I'm doing a Vlogmas and putting out YouTube videos, whatever it takes, I'm not going back to that.
Yep. Yeah. I think for ones that have kids, you see your children, if that's not a spark to get you up off your motivation to get up off your ass for a few minutes and go do what you said and list till 2 a.m. And they don't truly understand, because just seeing them, that our children drive us every day to teach them everything about the hustle, just about responsibility, accountability, and just a great work ethic. So I think they help us drive us as well.
Yeah,
So-
both of our kids have come to us at the age of 15 and asked to go get a job. They wanted to work. So I hope that they get that from us and the drive
Yeah.
from us to want to.
They will. Like your
Yeah.
kids get so much more from what they see you doing.
Exactly.
We're hopeful.
And do you guys have sons, daughters?
We have daughters. We have a 20-year-old and a 15-year-old.
Like Mel, it's so important what they
Yes.
see you do and how they see you get treated. Like Sean, treat her like the queen that you want your daughters to be treated like someday.
Exactly.
Because-
I open the doors for her because I want her to find
Yes.
those. I want her to find those boys. Which she has a great young man, but I want her to realize that this is what you should be treated.
That's
You
the
should have the
standards.
doors open. You
Like
should
that,
have the
yes.
seats pulled out from you. You should always be put number one. So that's
Yeah.
I have to set that precedence for my daughters too on my side. I
yeah.
want them to find the same type of stability and a man that's going to actually treat them and cherish them. So
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I think you can bark rules at your kids all day long, but they will, since they're sponges, soak up what they see you doing every day
Yeah.
and how they see you acting. And Mel, for them to see you as a businesswoman conducting your business, trust me, you're doing a better job showing them that every day than what you realize.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
agreed.
So we're just about near the end of the podcast. Any final words, Rachel, that you would like to just encourage other strong female resellers in the community that might be struggling right now? Any last words?
I didn't prepare anything off the cuff, but or prepare anything, so I guess I'll have to speak off the cuff. But just I guess the same encouragement I give to anyone that is trying to enter something, whether you've been there for 5 years or if you're just getting into reselling, just work on today being better than yesterday. And tomorrow you'll be a little bit better than today. If you are 1% better every day, by the end of the year, you're 365% better. You're 3 times better than when you started. It's not, you are not this big giant thing that you're going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to start doing this and I'm going to start doing that. That is not who you turn into. You turn into your daily habits. Do you do XYZ every single day? I'm not going to become randomly hydrated because I drank a gallon of water. But if I did a little bit every single day, you'll see a difference. And I saw an analogy of that recently, that it was with a gallon of water and a rock. If you poured a gallon of water onto a rock, the rock gets wet. Now, if I took that same gallon of water and every day I dripped a drop of water onto that rock, erosion happens. And it's going to make a difference in that rock. It's not the gallon, guys. Like, quit thinking you need to do everything every single day, especially if you're raising kids. Be a little bit better than you were yesterday. Daily habits.
And I think as moms, we don't give ourselves enough grace either.
Yes, that is true.
Forgive yourself because you're not always going to get it right.
No.
But you're right. If you do better than you did the day before, then,
And being a mom's your most important job, ladies.
Sure.
Like, I will not be on my deathbed one day thinking, I wish I'd sold more crap on eBay. But I'm
Right.
going to be like, I wish I had spent more time with him. I wish I had made sure my kids knew XYZ. Like, I don't ever want my kids to get to be adults. They got to love you when they're little, okay? Because I've seen little kids that had no reason to love their parents and still want their love, all right?
Yeah.
They almost got to love you when they're little. When they're older, they're going to remember who you were. And I want my kids, when they get older, to still be in love with me. Yeah, I want I want to forge that relationship now. So yeah, the hustle is great. The hustle, the grind. Don't forget your most important job, and it is raising those babies. Because ladies, we do it differently than their dads do. And kids need their dads. Don't get me wrong. Because he can watch the boys wrestle and I can't. I'm like, it's not you're gonna hurt each other. So they need that rough and tumble from their dad, but they need that soft embrace from me. And sometimes that's why you become the default parent, because they need so much of what we're like made by God to give little kids. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
For sure.
So
I want to go hug Kenton.
I know
Hug
this
those
morning
babies.
I woke up before Israel and I went and got in his bed. He's like, Mommy, could you not sleep? Because everyone else has already gone to work. We spend all day, every day together.
that's awesome. Rachel, we want to thank you for coming on the podcast. It's been so great. We appreciate you so much. We'll go ahead and make sure we put your details in the description for the YouTube for people to follow you on YouTube and also check you out and whatnot. again, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and head out if there's nothing else. We
Yep.
want to say we don't give a flip, but we do about you. All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Very
Yeah.
nice. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for
Thanks
sure.
for having me, guys.
All
Thank you
right.
so much.
Awesome. And if you can't be good at it. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Take care, everybody.